The following is a presentation of the City of Miamisburg, celebrating its Bicentennial in 2018. Miamisburg was the place to be seen in 2018. The community was in celebration mode all year long, observing its bicentennial anniversary. 200 years is a major milestone after all, and this is a city with a keen appreciation for its rich heritage. But the focal point of the celebration was one very special week in June. That's when the Star City's light shined the brightest for all to see. It was a week in the making for 3 years, planned by a dedicated group of citizens and city staff, chaired by Mayor Dick Church Jr. There was a different daily theme, with live entertainment and activities every day and evening. The committee was driven to make it a major, once-in-a-lifetime celebration of this place called Miamisburg, something befitting a bicentennial anniversary, and it turned out to be just that. So let's look back at Miamisburg's bicentennial week of celebration, June 16th to the 23rd, 2018. Opening weekend was warm and steamy, and Saturday kicked off with a large parade down Central Avenue. You might refer to it as a star-spangled route because the roadway was dotted with large painted stars in reference to that Star City nickname. An enthusiastic crowd of spectators was on hand to enjoy many entries never before seen in Miamisburg parades. The Grand Marshal was Honorary Bicentennial Chair and local historian Bobby Sweeney. There were civic organizations, churches, elected office holders and candidates, and many local businesses. There were also large contingents from the region's police departments and fire departments. The community in Miami Valley responded with great support for this event and got the week off to a great start. Shortly after the parade, a formal opening ceremony was held in Riverfront Park, where a number of political leaders or their representatives paid tribute to the bicentennial, and retired fire department official Billy Ring recited a poem that he wrote to commemorate the milestone.
Miamisburg, they named it, feeling glory in their hearts. No other town does hold this name throughout the world's charts. The dark night vision of the skyborne lights, always oh so pretty, would give our town the most fitting name of the beautiful Star City. Thank you, sir.
Also, a children's carnival began for the week with rides, games, and plenty of that good fair food. And Heritage Village opened for the week at the corner of Old Main and Locke Streets, where visitors could enjoy tours of the Gebhardt Tavern Museum and Kircher Cabin, two restored historic buildings from the 1800s. A terrific roster of live entertainment scheduled for the week then began on center stage, featuring the Ohio State Alumni Band and its 2018 drum major. History is a precious thing to a great many Miamisburg residents, and so the unsealing of a time capsule on opening day held particular interest for many people. This capsule had been buried for 50 years in Library Park, now called Veterans Memorial Park, and was dug up in early June. Then, in a public presentation, it was unsealed by members of the Bell family, who owned Bell Vault and originally entombed the capsule. Some of the contents were pulled off the top and announced to the crowd on hand, and all the contents were on display the next day in the park as they were being cataloged. Eventually, these historic keepsakes from the community in 1968 will be on display for the public to see in the Market Square building. While all these festivities were happening, another event was taking place both Saturday and Sunday at another city park, Beekler Field. It was called Drums on the Miami, and it was designed to pay homage to the Native Americans that once inhabited this land. Miamisburg was named in part after the Miami Indians, and the Adena Indian Burial Mound remains one of the most recognizable landmarks here. Drums on the Miami was both entertaining and educational, as visitors enjoyed and learned about dances, music and clothing, Native American history, and lifestyles of the day. It was a fascinating and valuable aspect of the week's list of activities and an appropriate part of the celebration. Day 2 on Sunday was billed as Religious Heritage Day and featured family entertainment in Riverfront Park with music and comedy. The Miamisburg Ministerial Association played an active role in planning the day's schedule. Also, Drums on the Miami concluded at Beekler with additional demonstrations on Native American life in the Miami Valley. Monday was Pioneer Day and featured activities from an era when Miamisburg and our nation were young. The day began with a dedication of a new historic marker on the side of the old Miami-Erie Canal in Community Park south of downtown. The canal connected the Ohio River with Lake Erie and was vital to Ohio commerce in the 1800s. Its path cut right through Miamisburg, and the new marker puts a spotlight on this part of the community's history. Heritage Village was open again, and the Miamisburg Historical Society coordinated a variety of demonstrations in period clothing, including traditional artisans, one-room schoolhouse, and a taste of pioneer living. Perhaps the most unique part of Pioneer Day was provided back in Riverfront Park in the Great Lakes Timber Show. Spectators were treated to some real lumberjack skills like axe throwing,
oh, that is a bullseye,
wood cutting, and log rolling, where some volunteers from the audience also got to join in the fun. Business Day on Tuesday began with another historic marker dedication, this one in remembrance of the Great Flood of 1913. A brief ceremony was held on the Riverfront Park stage, after which the nearby marker was unveiled. It's located across from the stage, right next to the river levee. Some of the business community participated with activities and special sales that day. Then, that night, while the live entertainment on center stage was rockin', the nearby Baum Opera House hosted an evening with Mark Twain, a one-man portrayal of the personable and famous American author. The acclaimed show was enjoyed by a sold-out house. Wednesday was Youth Day, with a variety of special activities planned for young people. But the highlight of the schedule was a much-anticipated evening concert by Ricky Skaggs. Along with his band, Kentucky Thunder, Skaggs brought his country and bluegrass sound to Riverfront Park and entertained a throng of spectators who gathered to enjoy their immense talent.
My favorite book was wrote about a man that died to save my soul. And my favorite thing to hear is, Daddy, I'm so glad you're home. And my favorite woman is my free, long black hair and green eyes. Yeah, I live a simple life.
Skaggs will be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2018, and his performance lived up to its billing. This free concert was a gift to the community, presented by Kettering Health Network and Sycamore Medical Center. It not only was the network's way of helping Miamisburg commemorate its bicentennial, but also to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Sycamore. Afterwards, Skaggs stayed around to take pictures and sign autographs for fans. It was a tremendous night of music and fellowship in Miamisburg as the community came together for this midweek treat. But the week's festivities were far from over. Thursday was dedicated to the ladies of the community with a variety of planned activities. Ladies' Day included morning golf at Mound Golf Course, historic walks and tours, a quilt show, and a fashion show. Fortunately, all outdoor portions of the schedule were held around periods of intermittent rain, but the wet weather did wash out the live entertainment scheduled for Thursday night on center stage. Friday was billed as Municipal Day, with several city facilities open for public tours, and Pipestone Golf Course offered a discount for lunch and golf. The center stage entertainment for the day kicked off with two local favorites: the Miamisburg High School Alumni Band, including majorettes, and the Miamisburg Community Chorus. And of course, after Thursday's rainout, the live entertainment resumed all evening long. That set the stage for the climactic closing day of the bicentennial celebration, and it absolutely did not disappoint. The second parade of the week kicked things off Saturday, and some people are calling it the best parade in Miamisburg history. The tone was set early in the lineup when the crowd was wowed by the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Motorcycle Drill Team. This group has been serving as goodwill ambassadors for law enforcement for 55 years, and the precision of their maneuvers was impressive and entertaining. These 800-pound Harley-Davidson Road Kings have been performing in parades for presidential inaugurations, college football bowl games, and many other major events. Their visit to Miamisburg was a welcome addition to the festivities. Another addition to the closing day parade were the popular shrine units. Of course, the local Antioch Temple was well represented, as they often are at Miamisburg parades, but Shriners from Cincinnati, Columbus, Akron, and even Michigan and Indiana were also on hand with their variety of entertaining entries. Their participation was certainly appreciated by the spectators. The lineup was also packed with local entries, both new and familiar. Among those of particular historic significance was a 1908 Enterprise Hatfield buggy-about that was actually built in Miamisburg. And of course, the replica Wright B Flyer from the Dayton Wright Brothers Airport. Later in the day in the park, there was an appearance by the 73rd Ohio Volunteer Regiment Infantry Band. And Judgment Day for local men who grew or failed to grow facial hair reminiscent of the 1800s. The Kangaroo Court was an entertaining conclusion to the Brothers of the Brush promotion. Also, a new time capsule filled with current items was sealed to be opened in 50 years. This one will be buried right there in Riverfront Park. Now, all these activities were well planned and scheduled, but there was one surprise that caught everyone off guard. Retired Miamisburg Law Director Bill Forbes used the occasion of the bicentennial to make a special presentation to Mayor Church. More than a year ago, Forbes had an idea to honor the mayor for his career in public service and commitment to this community. A self-taught sculptor, he created a bronze bust of the mayor at his Colorado home and traveled to Miamisburg to make the presentation. Several local residents and former colleagues of Forbes supported the project and were on hand to see an emotional Mayor Church accept this special gift.
If I can control myself for a minute, this gesture, really appreciate it. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
The bust is permanently displayed in the City Council chamber, a fitting tribute to the longest-serving mayor in Miamisburg history. Closing day came to an inspiring conclusion that evening with a concert by the Dayton Philharmonic Concert Band, featuring some patriotic and traditional numbers to entertain the largest crowd of the week. And after the Philharmonic was finished, a spectacular fireworks display lit up the sky over the Great Miami River. This was followed by a late-night treat for guests when a former local band called Bear Creek reunited after their scheduled Thursday night performance had been rained out. What a night and what a week. A few last activities were added to the schedule Sunday morning, including some final comments by Mayor Church.
You know, on any event that goes on in Miamisburg, the Parks and Recreation Department, Public Works, Police, Fire, they're all involved in some way. They have given their all to make this celebration run smoothly. And I declare this session closed. Thank you.
An incredible week of celebration. Certainly an event that reflected the one-of-a-kind nature of a bicentennial. Organized and planned by citizens and city staff and funded by private donations. In addition to residents, people from throughout the region came to enjoy, and natives now residing elsewhere returned to their hometown. It's something that will be talked about locally for years to come. The summer of 2018, when 200 years of Miamisburg was observed in nothing short of grand fashion.